wrongly charged Young Thug with possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony without the requisite mens rea being found by a grand jury. Hence, the general demur is good. We go through count 62, wrongfully charged Young Thug with possession of a machine gun, and the grand jury failed to plead the necessary mens rea. This is going to be a good one. So let me make sure we're good. First of all, I got to give a big shout out to Thugger Daily, has been covering this case in an amazing way, making a lot of these documents readily available to everyone to see. And Thugger Daily posted this yesterday and dropped the link to the motion, which we're going to go over here in just a second. All right. So yesterday during court, Judge Whitaker directed Brian Steele, Young Thug's lawyer, to have his renewed motion to dismiss, plea and bar, and general demur that Glanville denied in November of last year. And then we've got the full motion here. So now I've got the full motion for y'all right here. You may be wondering, as I was, what is a plea and bar? And I looked up a simple definition. It says a plea and bar is a legal defense used in criminal or civil cases to completely prevent a lawsuit or prosecution from proceeding. It asserts that even if the allegations are true, there is a reason that the case should not continue. Common examples include statute of limitations running out or double jeopardy, which means the person has already been tried for the same offense. So this is what we're talking about here. We all know what the motion to dismiss means, so we're good there. And we're going to keep moving through this one and see what Brian Steele, aka Young Thug, is trying to get done here. All right, check this out. The state of Georgia versus Young Thug, aka Jeffrey Williams, aka Brian Steele. This is a letter to Judge Whitaker. Renewed plea and bar, motion to dismiss, and general demur. Comes now, Young Thug, by and through undersigned counsel, and hereby files this renewed, what we just said in the above referenced case in support of this renewed X. Young Thug shows as false. We know he's going to say he's innocent. He always puts this first. I love it. Young Thug is innocent of all charges in the above referenced indictment. On or about November 2nd, Young Thug timely filed a plea and bar, motion to dismiss, and general demur in the above referenced case. We're going to keep it moving. On November 27th, recused Judge Glanville. Well, here we go. At least he called him judge this time. Entered an order denying this plea and bar, motion to dismiss, etc., etc. Young Thug timely requested a certificate of immediate review concerning the denial of his plea and bar. Of course, the recused judge denied same. Judge Glanville wasn't giving the defense anything. On November 30th, Young Thug filed a notice to appeal to the Honorable Court of Appeals of Georgia. And on January 7, 2024, Young Thug timely filed brief of appellant with the Honorable Appellate Court. And we're going to have a note here in a second that says, please note the brief of appellant Young Thug reference to as appellate and cites the record of the case, which consists only of the indictment in the case at bar. All right. And then it says on January 19th, the Honorable Court of Appeals of Georgia issued an order dismissing Young Thug's appeal, finding that it lacked jurisdiction. Young Thug files this renewed plea and bar, motion to dismiss, etc., and asks this honorable court to rule the same after hearing from the parties. So he's got some backup. Young Thug relies upon this brief of appellate written for the Honorable Court of Appeals, Georgia, now memorialized as Exhibit C. Wherefore, Young Thug respectfully requests this honorable court hold a hearing on this renewed plea and bar, motion to dismiss, and at the conclusion of the same, ask the honorable court to grant the above requested relief. All right, so he's trying to, Brian Steele's still over there working. We're going to scroll down and actually look at this plea and bar. This is the original one that was filed on November 2nd of last year. And we're not going to review the whole thing, but I definitely want to see some of the evidence and some of the things that Brian Steele is saying for reasons this should be dismissed. So let's check it out. Comes now, Young Thug by and through undersigned counsel and hereby files this motion. We'll just say Young Thug is innocent of all charges in the above referenced indictment. The grand jury wrongfully indicted Young Thug in the above referenced case on or about October 5th of 2022. In count 1, conspiracy to violate the Racketeering, Influence, and Corrupt Organizations Act, RICO, counts 56, 57, and so on and so forth. And what were we talking about here? Count 61, possession of a firearm during a commission of a felony, and count 62, possession of a machine gun. Good Lord. Now, a lot of y'all may not know this. Young Thug is not a felon. He's not a convicted felon. So his record's clean in that sense. A lot of the things that happened when he was actually arrested are a little blurry just because they're having trouble showing that some of those things belong to him. And I think that's one of the issues that the prosecution is going to run into. But we'll get to that at a later date if this case continues to move forward. As to count 1, the RICO conspiracy count fails to charge / allege the proper mens rea. Hence, an essential element of that count of indictments has not been pled by the grand jury, and thus this plea and bar such and such is good. What does he say here? He gives a note. Based upon information and belief, all co-indictees get the benefit of this argument. And then count 56 and 57 wrongfully charged Young Thug with participation in criminal street gang activity, but both failed to allege the material element in Young Thug's conduct was intended to further the supposed mission and interest of the criminal street gang. Hence, both these targeted counts are fatally defective. And again, this is one of the things that they're going to have trouble showing proof of. There's some pieces that can be connected, but if you're on the jury and you're looking at this, which some of y'all may be at some point or maybe have been in the past and might be in the future, the evidence, it ain't great. It ain't great. Moreover, as to count 56, the grand jury failed to charge the essential elements of murder, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, armed robbery, hijacking a motor vehicle, sale of marijuana, possession of marijuana with intent to distribute, theft by receiving a firearm, and possession of a weapon by a convicted felon. Without the essential elements of these crimes being pled in this court, the grand jury failed to assert an essential element of this crime. Thus, counts 56 must be dismissed, and this general demurrer is good. As to count 58, Young Thug was wrongfully charged with violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act. They can't prove that it was his. I don't know if I remember right. I don't know if he was even in the house when they got this, but y'all can correct me on that in the comments. I'm probably wrong. But anyway, as to count 58, Young Thug was wrongfully charged with violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act, to wit, possession of marijuana with intent to distribute. However, the essential element of the mens rea of this crime was not pled, and thus this count of the indictment cannot withstand the general demurrer. As to count 59, violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act, to wit, the possession of the codeine with intent to distribute. Means he's just had a big amount. He had a lot of codeine in there. Oh my gosh, man. Y'all chill. The grand jury failed to allege a material element of this crime, to wit, the mental state. Hence, the count cannot withstand the grand demurrer. All right, let's keep going. As to count 60, violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act, to wit, possession of cocaine. Boy, they were partying it up over there. The grand jury again failed to allege the necessary mens rea, and hence a material element of this crime has been omitted by the grand jury. Thus, the general demurrer is good. Count 61. Basically, he's going through and saying there's just no grounds for this. There's a lot in here, though. Count 61. Wrongly charged Young Thug with possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony without the requisite mens rea being found by a grand jury. Hence, the general demurrer is good. We go through count 62. Wrongfully charged Young Thug with possession of a machine gun and the grand jury failed to plead the necessary mens rea. Based upon information and based upon the above, Young Thug respectfully requests this honorable court to grant this general demurrer, release Young Thug from this indictment, and deem Young Thug exonerated. Oh, man, y'all think that's going to happen? Wherefore, Young Thug respectfully requests this honorable court to hold a hearing to this plea and bar, etc. And at the conclusion of the same, ask this honorable court to grant the above requested relief. Now, this goes on because there's more that they show here. This is the certificate here, and this is Exhibit B. This is the order denying defendant Young Thug's plea in bar, which was signed by, of course, we'll go down to the bottom and see, the Honorable Chief Judge Ural Glanville. So he denied it, and that's what they're showing here in these exhibits. So it kind of gives you guys a little bit of background. Now that this is renewed, we have to ask the question, do y'all think that Judge Whitaker is going to look at everything that was mentioned in his original motion and say, maybe you have something here, I'm going to look at it and see? Do you think she's just going to move forward and say, I get the game that you're trying to play, Brian Steele, but everything that the grand jury found is sound, and we're going to keep moving forward? So she's going to deny that as well. Let me know what y'all think.